How we doing, people? I hope you're smiling and I hope you're happy. What a glorious day. And a lot of us go, oh yeah, could do with this all year round. I agree with the sunshine. But here in the UK at the moment, yes, unseasonally warm and unseasonally dry. Um, and now we're talking about the potential of crops failing on the industrial level, because farms aren't able to get as much water as they need, and usually they're having to water when they shouldn't have to water, which to me just comes up with one thing: the price of produce is going to go up. Um, Not a good sign, is it, really? So I live off grid and in an alternative way, as you know, and you've seen the small amount of produce that I'm growing this year because of obviously doing the construction. But I'm having to water every night. And the one thing that I'm thankful for is I've got a river on the edge of my boundary. That's where the deep well pump is. And then all I've got to do is this. Just got to step into here and flick a switch. Now that is pumping, or starting to pump. I'm just starting to hear it. Water nearly out of, well, just over 100 meters away from the river up into my tank. And then obviously I'm still working on at the moment gravity from that tank down to the tank I use for watering. But I'm very, very fortunate that that river runs all year long. So I don't actually have to worry about the amount of water I'm using as such. Um, and obviously I am going to have produce, and that cost to me is my time. So pros and cons of this alternative way, off-grid life. Well, I'm not seeing many cons at the moment. So on a glorious day like this, obviously I have full batteries and I'm cooking on solar. I'm cooking on electric, so I'm not using my gas. Everything I can, I'm using electricity, so I'm not having to use gas, and I'm saving a few pennies in this modern world where people sit there and say, well, that only costs a tenner. £10, even in today's world, it's still quite a lot of money. You can feed yourself quite well on £10. Especially that I'm growing, and people grow your own produce. I mean, that means you haven't got to buy your vegetables or your salad foods and your fruit. Um, so, £10 for me, I could probably eat for 4 days, 5 days, really quite comfortably on £10. There's only £10. That's 4 or 5 days. I'm going to have good food, maybe a little bit longer. And we have to nowadays, I think. We have to be extremely mindful of our money. I know it's for the world north of the gate, people really struggle. Um, but then if you look into what they deem as necessities, others, like myself potentially, will deem that as a big treat. Um, each person has their own format of what they see is right for them. But me, in the frugal way I live, um, it affords me time. By being frugal, it affords me the time to do what I want, to do what pleases me. And for me, that is being here on my land, being here with my girls. So by being frugal, it gives me that. Frugal I will be. It's a funny old world that we live in nowadays, and yes, I glance at the news and I see roughly what's going on in the outside world, and it scares me. It kind of makes me more determined to thrive even better with the world that I've created and am creating for myself. A world where it's just me and the girls, really, you know, being reasonably self-sufficient. I'm one man. I can only achieve so much. You know, I'm not young, and yes, you're aware. I mean, I have a few health issues I have to be mindful of, but I still strive every day and enjoy that striving, especially when you see me eating my strawberries and my fresh produce when it comes out, and it's just so satisfying. So that to have a simple life, and keeping life simple, I think, is the answer. Media, magazines, TVs, weathers, adverts, etc., etc. I kind of manipulate you to say, I want this and I want that. That keeps you on the treadmill a bit longer. I don't want any of that. I use and reuse as much as I can with what I have. As you see in my videos, I live life as frugally as I possibly can, purely to give me the most valuable commodity that any human being can ever have. That's time. For those of you that are reluctantly stuck on that treadmill of life, see if you can work a little way of how you might be able to give yourselves a little more time. Time is the most precious thing, and that is why I get up and I strive and I work on my land every day. It gives me happiness, it makes me feel good about myself, and I'm under no pressure to have to meet any modern demands. So, off-grid alternative, I can almost argue the point alternative. Why are they calling it alternative? 2 or 3 generations ago, this wasn't alternative, it was normal. We're just stepping back in time to when life was definitely better, I feel. That's my thought for the day. Anyway, I've got to go and check my tank because soon I'll have to switch that off. I'll have another 1,000 litres to play with, and I've got to carry on with my day. You take care, folks. Chicken logos up there, comments, I love them. Thank you very much. See ya Sunday.